Reactions have trailed the announcements by the Police Service Commission that senior police officers who have either spent over 35 years in service or above 60 years of age should immediately retire. This decision was reached during the Commission's first extraordinary meeting for 2025, presided over by its chairman, retired Deputy Inspector General Hashimu Arugungu. The meeting was attended by key officials, including retired Supreme Court Justice Adamu Galumje, DIG Taiwo Lakano, retired, and Commission Secretary Chief Onyemuchi Namani. A statement by the Commission spokesperson Ikechukwu Ani highlighted that this move aligns with the Public Service Rule, which mandates retirement upon the completion of 35 years in service or the attainment of 60 years of age. And now to discuss this, we are joined by the Executive Director, Transparency and Accountability Network, Oluwole Oladapo. Thank you so much, Mr. Oladapo, for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Good evening.
So I'd like to get your thoughts. The Public Service Rule actually, of course, is something that has to be adhered to when you talk about senior police personnel, but not the position of the Inspector General of Police. How do you see that rule?
You see, thank you very much. You see, before now, we have all judged on the public service rules, which we all know talked about, the age of retirement or the year of service. Once you are 35 years in service, or you attain the age of 60. That's the way it is in public service rules, and it still holds, except for some, some specialized public service office like the judiciary, where the age of judges have now been moved from 60 to 70. It used to be 70 for appeal court judges and Supreme Court judges, but now it has become same for all judges of high courts in Nigeria. And in 2022, that of the Inspector General of Police was also done, which was like made almost like a political office. And if you look at it to some extent, it is almost like a political office, which requires that the nominee for the office by the president would have to go before the Senate for confirmation after has been appointed in acting capacity. So, you see, it's rather unfortunate that as Nigerians we have found ourselves in this situation. And as activists and public commentators on issues, one of the things that I think we did was to have been docile when in 2020, under the immediate past president of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, the amendment to the Police Act was done so as to allow the president to be able to appoint whoever he deems fit into the office of the Inspector General of Police. And that job has been settled. It is unfortunate that it is generating furore now, but it is late. And that's the reality of things as it stands.
But then I'd like to find out. What is the rationale behind having such rule, an exemption for the IGP. Is there a direct or an indirect benefit to have that come into play, that amendment of the Police Act whereby the IGP can stay in office for 4 years, but then it is still under the same public service rule? So why should there be an exemption? Is there benefits?
Thank you very much. You see, the law is good and the law is clear. The truth is, in the public service, promotion ends at a particular stage. For the police, promotion within the service ends at the rank of Deputy Inspector General of Police. That is not by appointment. That is by promotion. The office of the Inspector General of Police, even before the law was amended in 2020, had not been by promotion. It's not been by public service rules. So I think what the law did in 2020 was to put a lot of things into perspective. Whether it was morally sound or not is another issue for another day. And that is where it has been. So I think what they're trying to do is to seek law to be able to actually explain that an office for which you cannot be promoted but appointed has almost become political. And if we look at it, the benefits are two for the system. There is a benefit for Nigeria and the system. There's also a benefit for the current political office holder who would have to shop for a competent, experience, and more importantly, a loyal person who he thinks might want to carry out his own agenda for the nation. It is rather very unfortunate, but if we are going to address this issue, we will have to go back to our laws. And the laws will have to address the fact that the office of the IG should be by promotion and not by appointment. As long as it remains by appointment by the president in acting capacity, subject to confirmation by the National Assembly, it has become a political office. So and that's why the conundrum has been all the while.
So basically what you're saying, sir, basically what you're saying now is that once the president, of course, has that prerogative to appoint someone to be in that sensitive position, it's in violation of the constitution of the country.
It is not in violation as it stands now. As it stands now, it's not in violation.
But you said, according to the constitution or the law, that appointments to the seat or the position of the IGP should be by promotion, if I did get you correctly.
That's why I said, but currently what the constitution supports is appointment by the helmsman. That's what it supports now. So that's why I said it is not in violation. But when we look at the morality of it, which is generating the parole now, we would have to go back to the constitution to allow, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about in retrospect now. I'm speaking futuristically on what can be done. The current position where agitations are now being held that should not be done is against the law. So the argument is from the point of morals and morality that when it might not encourage performance by officers in the Nigerian police force, knowing full well that they might not attain. But of course, it is only one person that will attain in the lifetime of a particular group of people. And in a particular set of police officers, no one might even attain to the position of IG. And that's why the president can decide to appoint. Once you attain the rank of an AIG, he can appoint you and retire everybody before you. Or except those ones are ready to serve their junior, even when their time is not, when their retirement time or year of completion of service is not up. But that will not encourage the force. Somebody is an AIG, you bring him up above the IGs to come and be IG. The law permits that. The president has the prerogative to appoint anyone, any senior police officer, into the position of the IG. So that's why I said the law, as it stands, will have to be looked at. But currently, the president is not doing anything that is against the law. It could be against morality by virtue of the opinion of some persons, a school of thought that I also belong to. But he has not gone against any law of the land, especially the Police Act 2020 that was amended.
Okay, before I let you go, I'd like to also, from the point of morality anyway, get your opinion on the issue around appointments. So when we have a president who appoints the heads of the police force, the anti-corruption agencies, and some other sensitive agencies like that, how do we now have an effective system that upholds justice when we know that these people who have been appointed would somehow have to be the ones who would honor or work in favor of the person that has appointed him or her?
Well, I don't want to subscribe to working in favor. I would like to say work in tandem. I would like to use that word. In tandem. For somebody contesting the office of the president, you have an agenda. Perhaps security is part of your agenda. You must be able to work with people as long as the constitution permits you to work with people who you believe can work with your vision. Not favor this time around. Not favor. Every civil servant or public office holder should work in loyalty to the nation and by extension, the holder of the most superior office and highest office in the land, in this case.
But that favor could be, sir, that favor could be benefits of course, the president, but then to the detriment of the people. Is one of the things that the activist Omoyele Sowore mentioned, and some people have also mentioned that, you know, he who pays the piper dictates the tune. So if whatever rule that is being handed down to those who have been appointed favors them, and then it's to the detriment of the people, then it still holds waters because it's what the Constitution says.
You see, it's rather unfortunate. But like I said, that's the law. So what we should be working towards now is an agitation for a constitution amendment as far as that matter is concerned, where we can now start talking about the fact that for such sensitive offices, people who are going to be helmsmen has to be by promotion. But again, if there are 4 BIGs and somebody is to be promoted, what will be the criteria to promote one over the other? So we're going to create another confusion within the system of the organization. So it's rather unfortunate that our laws in Nigeria have not grown bigger than some men. But in places where it has worked, it is because the people have decided, irrespective of whatever office you hold, whether you are president, you are governor, the law is above you. If the law is above whoever is appointed into office, and there are ethics and norms, and this constitution guiding the operations of such office, whoever is appointed will have to respect the constitution and respect office.
All right.
Even when the president has not appointed one, if you have an IG that will misbehave, he will misbehave. And the president is at liberty to fire because it's an appointment.
All right, Mr. Oluwole Oladapo. Mr. Oluwole Oladapo, Executive Director, Transparency and Accountability Network, thank you so much for your thoughts on the news.
It's my pleasure.